Imagine losing your day one homie, the person who's been riding with you since the streets, only to find out that someone you considered a friend in the music industry may have had a hand in it. All while showing up in the studio next to you. That's exactly what happened between Lil Baby and 21 Savage. A story packed with betrayal, street politics, and the kind of drama that money and fame can't fix. From hits on the interstate to diss tracks on albums. This isn't just rap beef, it's a real-life story of loyalty, revenge, and the dangerous collision between the streets and the music business. Stick around, because what really went down in Atlanta will shock you. Imagine this: you're about to drop a song, and someone on it says verbatim, "You still hang with them? That done got your pot no whack." Wild, right? Now picture this: 21 Savage is on your album, and he literally says get him smacked, but then turns around and shows love to his own brother. That's basically dissing your partner. And probably while you're in the studio together. I had Wham and Savage on the line trying to stop anything from blowing up. I even got underscore involved. Now think about this. Your day one homie, the one who's been riding with you since day one, gets killed on the interstate, and later, you find out your so-called friend in the music world had a hand in it. That's exactly what went down between Lil Baby and 21 Savage over Marlo's murder. And the streets in Atlanta have been buzzing about it ever since. This story isn't just about two rappers, it's about deep connections, street politics, and the way loyalty and business collide in the city's music scene. Today, we're breaking down how 21 Savage allegedly orchestrated the hit on Lil Baby's best friend, why Marlo had to go, and how Young Thug had to step in before Atlanta turned into a full-blown war zone. To understand the situation, you need to know just how tight Lil Baby and Marlo really were. They weren't just colleagues or collaborators, they were brothers from the streets. Both grew up in Bankhead, one of Atlanta's most notorious neighborhoods, and shared a day one bond that isn't seen often in the industry. When they both signed to Quality Control around the same time, it looked like the two were set to rise together. Baby's career blew up quickly, while Marlo struggled to reach the same level of success. According to sources at Q, Marlo's music wasn't making the kind of money Baby's was, and instead of stepping away from the streets, Marlo stayed involved in his old lifestyle. Baby did everything he could to help him succeed legally. He got him a record deal, kept him in the studio, featured him on tracks, and constantly pushed him to focus on music rather than street life. In interviews, Baby's belief in Marlo's talent was clear, but Marlo remained loyal to the streets, even when a legitimate way out was right in front of him. That loyalty, unfortunately, set off the chain of events that would lead to his death. Marlo wasn't just a rapper trying to look tough. He was respected in the streets long before he picked up a microphone. He was affiliated with PFK, also called Play for Keeps, or 3L, which had ties to the Goodfellas mob. Sources say Marlo was involved in serious street business for his crew, and had a reputation for handling people who disrespected him. One key incident that put him on 21 Savage's radar was allegedly killing Capo Nuke, a high-ranking member of the Goodfellas mob, who had connections to 21's 4L crew. Nuke had reportedly been messing with Marlo's baby mama, and Marlo didn't let it slide. After Nuke's death, the tension between 4L and PFK escalated quickly. That's where Baby Drill enters the story. Drill, whose real name is Del Cristo Wilson, was a young member of 4L, hungry to prove himself. When 21 allegedly put a hit on Marlo, Drill saw it as a chance to earn respect and boost his own street credibility. On July 11, 2020, according to reports, Drill and his crew allegedly followed Marlo from a Bankhead reunion to I-285 and opened fire on his car, causing his death. Drill would later reference the incident in his music, further proving how street violence and rap careers often intertwine in Atlanta. As Marlo's death sent shockwaves through the city, Lil Baby realized something that shook him to the core. Someone he trusted in the industry may have orchestrated the murder of his day one friend. Sources say Baby was ready to retaliate immediately, but industry politics complicated things. Both artists were making serious money, backed by major labels, and constantly in the spotlight. Meanwhile, 21 Savage had been right in front of Baby the whole time, doing songs together, attending events, allegedly knowing exactly what had happened. This is when Young Thug stepped in. Known for keeping Atlanta's music scene united, Thug organized a three-way call between Baby and 21 Savage. He reminded them they were bigger than street drama, and that Atlanta should be a city where artists support each other rather than tear each other down. According to Thug, he told them, "Man, y'all brothers. We ain't talking internet beef or what people say online. We talking real life. Both of y'all can say what you want. but I got you both on the phone trying to stop this." Even though the beef was publicly squashed, the streets never forgot. That's why Gunna later felt comfortable calling out Baby in his music, referencing how he was still rolling with someone allegedly responsible for his partner's death. This story shows how loyalty, business, and street politics collide in Atlanta's complicated mix where millions of dollars and real lives are at stake. And the streets remember everything. Stick with me, because this story goes way deeper than what you see online. Let's start with Baby and Marlo's bond. These weren't just rap buddies or industry acquaintances, they were brothers from the trenches. They grew up together in Bankhead, one of Atlanta's most notorious neighborhoods. When they both signed to Quality Control around the same time, it looked like they were on the path to blowing up together. But here's the tragic part. While Baby's career skyrocketed, Marlo's music never caught the same wave. According to P from QC, Marlo wasn't making the kind of money Baby was. So he stayed tied to the streets, trying to keep up with his crew's lifestyle. Baby did everything he could to help him. He got Marlo a record deal, kept him in the studio for hours, featured him on tracks, and constantly pushed him to focus on music instead of street life. Interviews make it clear how much Baby believed in Marlo. He genuinely wanted him to escape the hood the right way, but Marlo was stubborn. Even with a deal and Baby's support, he kept handling street business in Bankhead. That loyalty to the streets, despite having a way out, ultimately led to his downfall and set the stage for the whole 21 Savage situation. Here's something most casual fans don't get about Marlo. He wasn't faking it for the cameras. This was real street respect. He had ties to PFK, Play for Keeps, also known as 3L, connected to the Goodfellas mob. He wasn't just moving weight. Sources say he was running serious operations for his crew. One major incident that put him directly on 21 Savage's radar was allegedly killing Capo Nuke. And Nuke wasn't just anyone. He was a high-ranking member of the Goodfellas mob, fresh out of serious time, respected, feared, and linked to the 4L crew that 21 Savage runs with. The story goes that Nuke allegedly messed with Marlo's baby mama, and Marlo wasn't about to let that slide, so here's where things get even darker. Allegedly, Marlo made the call that got Nuke taken out. That single move is what set Marlo on a collision course with 21 Savage's crew, because Nuke had serious ties to 21's people. And in the streets, that kind of hit doesn't go unanswered. To really understand how it went down, you've got to know about Baby Drill. Baby Drill, whose real name is Del Cristo Wilson, was a young, hungry kid trying to make a name for himself in both the streets and the rap game. He was part of 21 Savage's 4L crew and had a reputation for being a loyal soldier who would do whatever it took to prove himself to the older guys. Drill grew up under the system 21 Savage built in 4L. He knew how things worked and was ready to climb the ranks. When 21 allegedly put a hit on Marlo, Drill saw it as his chance to earn serious respect. And what makes his story even crazier, he reportedly turned Marlo's murder into a way to boost his rap career. After Marlo's death, Drill started making tracks where he bragged about the hit. In songs like 32 Freestyle and collaborations with Young Nudie, he referenced taking out the biggest op at just 17 years old. According to street accounts, on July 11, 2020, Marlo was leaving a Bankhead reunion when Baby Drill and his crew allegedly followed him onto I-285 and opened fire on his car. Marlo crashed and died on the spot. What's even more intense is that Drill later got arrested for murder in a completely different case, showing that this wasn't his only alleged body. To understand why 21 Savage allegedly wanted Marlo gone, you need to grasp the gang politics in Atlanta. 21 runs with 4L, which connects to his Slaughter gang and several blood sets across the city. Marlo, on the other hand, was linked to PFK, also known as 3L, which had ties to the Goodfellas mob. At one point, the crews got along. Old footage shows 21 Savage and Marlo together in the 9th Ward, smiling, making money, and showing mutual respect. But everything changed when Marlo allegedly killed Capo Nuke. Nuke was a major figure in the streets, with deep connections to 21 Savages. His death had to be answered. The violence escalated fast. Members of 4L started targeting PFK with robberies, shootings, and chain snatchings. Young 4L members were putting serious pressure on anyone tied to 3 leaders. And here's where 21 Savage really showed how cold this all was. Not only did he allegedly orchestrate Marlo's murder, but he had the audacity to diss him on Lil Baby's album. On the track, 21 made references clearly aimed at Marlo, basically trolling Baby while he was still grieving his best friend. Think about that. Baby was mourning his day one homie, and 21 Savage was essentially bragging about it on his album. In street terms, that's a serious disrespect, the kind that usually sparks immediate retaliation. But industry politics complicated everything, leaving Baby stuck between loyalty to his fallen friend and navigating the tricky world of music business politics. Now, picture being Lil Baby, slowly realizing that someone you considered a friend in the industry might have had your day one homie killed. Sources close to the situation say Baby was crushed when he learned about 21 Savage's alleged involvement. The streets were saying Baby was ready to go to war immediately. He wanted revenge against 21 Savage and the whole 4L crew. But it wasn't that simple. Industry politics made everything messy. Both artists were making serious money, had huge label backing, and were constantly in the public eye. What made it sting even more for Baby was realizing that 21 Savage had been right in front of him the whole time doing songs together, showing up at events, all while allegedly knowing exactly what happened to Marlo, because he reportedly ordered it. This is where young Thug stepped in. Thug has always been about keeping Atlanta united in music. In interviews, he's talked about stopping multiple beefs from spiraling out of control because when Atlanta artists clash, it hurts everyone's bag. When he got wind of the tension between Baby and 21 Savage, he knew he had to act fast to prevent a full-blown war. This wasn't just two rappers having a disagreement. It was about major crews in Atlanta about to go head-to-head. Thug got both Baby and 21 on a three-way call and reminded them they were bigger than street drama. He told them Atlanta was supposed to be a city where artists support each other, not tear each other down. According to Thug, he said something along the lines of, "Man, y'all brothers, we ain't talking internet beefs or what people say online. We talking real life? Both of y'all can say whatever you want, but the fact is I got you both on the phone trying to stop this." Even though Thug managed to get them to squash the beef publicly, the streets always knew what really happened. That's probably why Gunna felt bold enough to call Baby out in his music later. In one track, Gunna referenced exactly what everyone in Atlanta already suspected. Baby was still cool with someone who allegedly had his partner whacked. That line hit hard because it confirmed what the streets had been whispering all along. The fact that Baby took down his Instagram post about Marlo just minutes after posting it also raised serious eyebrows. People started questioning whether Baby was really about that life or if he was just going to let his homie's death slide for the sake of his career and industry. Relationships. One of the most telling signs that something changed between Baby and the Marlo situation is how he stopped acknowledging his dead friend publicly. Before all this came to light, Baby would post about Marlo on his birthday, death anniversary, and other significant dates. He would share memories, old photos, and keep Marlo's name alive on social media. But after the truth about 21 Savage's alleged involvement came out, Baby completely stopped posting about Marlo. No more birthday posts, no more anniversary remembrances, nothing. It's like Marlo just disappeared from Baby's public memory, which is crazy considering how close they were. This change in behavior didn't go unnoticed by the streets or by Marlo's family and friends. People started questioning whether Baby really cared about getting justice for his friend or if he was more concerned about maintaining his industry relationships and keeping his money flowing. What makes this situation even more complex is how it exposed the real politics in Atlanta's rap scene. You got artists who are making millions but still tied to street crews that are at war with each other. The music industry and the streets are so intertwined that beefs can literally cost lives. But money talks louder than loyalty sometimes. Chris Jeremiah and other street commentators have pointed out that this situation seriously damaged Baby's credibility in the streets. How you going to rap about being gangster and loyal when you're cool with the people who killed your best friend? That's the question a lot of people in Atlanta were asking. The industry pressure to maintain relationships and keep money flowing often overrides street justice. Labels, managers, and business partners all have interests in keeping their artists out of beef because violence is bad for business. So even when someone wants to retaliate, there are millions of dollars and multiple careers on the line. At the end of the day, this story is about loyalty, betrayal, and the price of staying connected to the streets while trying to make it in the music industry. Lil Baby lost his best friend, allegedly to someone he considered a friend in the industry. 21 Savage allegedly orchestrated the hit through his young artist, Baby Drill, then had the audacity to diss the dead man on Baby's own album. Young Thug had to step in to prevent an all-out war in Atlanta, but the damage was already done. The fact that everyone involved is still making music and stacking money while all this drama goes down really shows how the industry works. Sometimes, keeping the peace and protecting business relationships matters more than seeking justice, especially when millions of dollars are at stake. But make no mistake, the streets never forget. That's why people are still talking about this story, years later. The way Baby stopped posting about Marlo and appeared to move on says a lot about how industry politics can sometimes outweigh street loyalty. That's the real story behind the 21 Savage and Lil Baby situation. Drop your thoughts in the comments on how you think this all went down. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the real stories behind your favorite artists.